According to the Animal Health Institute, owners in the US spend $9,000 to $13,000 for medical treatments over their pets' lifetimes. Despite this crazy high number, only 2% of pet owners have pet insurance, and treating your pet for one illness alone can easily cost $4,000 to $14,000. Before I go on, I do want to thank Pawp for sponsoring this video. Their goal is to protect the 98% of pets in the US that have no safety net in the event of an emergency. It's not pet insurance so much as assurance that you will never have to make a difficult emergency medical decision based on finances. You can get emergency coverage for your pet or pets for just $19 a month, but more on Pawp and why I'm excited to partner with them for this video later on. Oh, plus a discount. My name is Frankie and this is The Money Resolution, where we resolve to get good with money. While not the sexiest personal finance topic, insurance of all kinds is very important to consider and have, and I'm especially passionate about pet insurance. One, because I love pets, and two, because so few people have it. Eventually, there comes a time when nearly all of the other 98% regret not having some sort of coverage. This has happened to numerous friends and family of mine. I've even learned the lesson the hard way twice. I'm hoping pet insurance or emergency-only coverage like Pawp can help save you thousands of dollars over the course of your pet's life. Today's video is actually a follow-up to another pet insurance video I made last year. I felt inspired to do another because there were so many good questions on that video. When the awesome people over at Pawp reached out, I was eager to ask them some of these questions today. I also contacted my own pet, no copays and no deductibles also, which is super simple and awesome. And this part's really cool. Emergencies related to pre-existing conditions are eligible for coverage. There are no issues with age or pre-existing conditions. Wow. No pet insurance provider covers pre-existing conditions. You can protect up to 6 pets under one Pawp plan at the same $19 price all in. You do only get one emergency visit a year, so if you want more than one pet covered for an emergency, you should consider getting each their own policy, but I suggest just one to start. They offer multiple forms of customer support like online chat, which includes sending photos and videos. I've actually tested this out and it was super smooth and easy to use and to connect with a vet within seconds. Critical in an emergency. Signing up is super easy. I signed up my dog Leo in less than 3 minutes. There is a 2-week waiting period before you get access to that $3,000 a year emergency fund. Like I mentioned, you are only covered for one incident in a year, and this is important. You must attain approval from a Pawp vet before your pet receives vet care to access your emergency fund. But again, you can get a hold of one in less than a minute. I think my favorite part of Pawp is that age, breed, medical history, and zip code in the US doesn't affect the price. It's just $19, plus up to 6 pets on one plan at the same all-in price is amazing. Oh, and I love the ability to connect with a real vet for situations where you're not sure if this is an emergency, because that might end up saving you a trip to the vet overall. If this sounds like a no-brainer for you like it was for me, they are offering my viewers 20% off their first month with code Resolution20. Be sure to use the link in the description, also pinned to the top of the comments, to tell them I sent you. It really does help me and the channel out. Thank you again, Pawp, for sponsoring this video. Okay, moving on to more questions. Vic said, vets require all money due at the time of service, so where do you get the money to possibly save your dog's life or stitch them up until insurance decides if they'll pay or not? Almost all pet insurance works on a reimbursement model. As I mentioned, you will, in almost all cases, be responsible for the bill in person. To pay up front, you may want to consider Care Credit, not a sponsor, but 10 years ago, I applied for it and paid for an emergency cat surgery using Care Credit. It is a credit card, so tread cautiously. I can't fully recommend Care Credit unless you have no other option though, because it will impact your credit score, and the interest rates are high when they do kick in. However, if you qualify, you may not have to pay interest for up to 2 years, so it can definitely help in a pinch if you have no coverage at all. Another commenter added, Trupanion can directly pay the vet within minutes of the claim being submitted to the hospital. This means you don't have to pay up front and wait to get reimbursed. You just pay the copay amount at checkout. But I learned that this is only true if the vet works with or has a relationship with Trupanion already. This is also where Pawp could come in handy because they do pay for your emergency visit and related expenses up to $3,000 before you leave the vet. Just make sure you take a minute to speak to a Pawp vet ahead of time to make sure an ER visit is warranted. That part is a requirement for access to the emergency fund. Lou asked, so The higher the deductible, the better the insurance. Well, Lou, it depends on how you define better, right? Typically, the higher the deductible, the lower the premium and vice versa, but it doesn't usually impact your coverage overall. But a lower premium may mean a lower coverage cap or limit. In other words, how much money they will cover max. Some offer a low-cost accident-only plan you might want to look into. That'll be a much lower monthly payment, but coverage is limited, so some might not call that better. Devoted YouTuber asked, this sounds morbid, but does insurance cover circumstances pertaining to end-of-life options? From what I've seen in research, no. And again, this is another reason I actually recommend Pawp. Their whole goal is to reduce the amount of pet euthanasia by giving pet owners access to a $3,000 a year emergency fund for less than $230 a year. Nemesis asked about companies I think are worth it, obviously Pawp, and if you can swing it financially, I suggest Pawp plus pet insurance for total coverage. I use Pawp in Petplan. If you want more recommendations, I actually highlighted 10 companies in my video from last year. Again, referral links and last year's video are all in the description below. Others that seem popular though, based on viewer comments, are Lemonade, Pets Best, and Trupanion. Speaking of Lemonade, Sam and others asked, what are your thoughts on Lemonade? I'll put a few pros and cons on Lemonade on screen now. Feel free to pause and take a look. They're new as of 2015 and started with actually home and renter's insurance. It sounds very affordable, not to mention you can possibly bundle and save with other insurance. And people seem to really like how easy it is to use. It has a sleek and modern website and app as well, though they are missing some basic services and older pets may be denied altogether. Plus, this is a kicker for a lot of you, it isn't available in all 50 states. Has anyone had any dealings with Pumpkin Insurance? Pumpkin is even newer to the pet insurance space, founded actually in 2019. They offer coverage for dogs and cats in all 50 states. They also have a great website. Everything cost though and coverage wise is mostly in line with other insurance providers, although dogs are actually called out as higher than most. Claims seem easy to submit and there are opportunities for Pumpkin to pay your vet directly. They don't have customer service available on the weekend. It does seem decent, but it is very new, which makes me personally a little bit hesitant. Okay, and because I revealed Petplan as my insurance company in my last video, I did have a few specific questions about Petplan I wanted to address, and Petplan was gracious enough to help answer some of these. Does Petplan pay the vet directly? No. Petplan services are reimbursement based, so the policyholder will still be responsible for the initial cost of care, but can submit a claim for Petplan to reimburse and they'll cover up to 90% of that bill. Beeswax asked, were you able to lock in that price or does it update every year? Well, first of all, it's none of your beeswax. I couldn't help it, sorry. Great question actually, and this made me look up my policy. So my policy with Leo did in fact go up from $37 in year one to $44 recently in year two, an increase of just under $7 or around 15%. I still find though that $44 a month is very reasonable. And actually with Pawp and Petplan together, we pay right around $63 a month for full total coverage. I personally asked Petplan what separates Petplan from other pet insurance companies. They responded, well, it's comprehensive coverage, which is to say that Petplan covers more types of injuries, illness, and care than their competitors. They cover everything ranging from broken bones to swallowed socks to cancer, and that includes the treatment, medications, and vet exam fees. Their plan also covers complete sick visits, chronic and hereditary conditions, and comprehensive dental for all teeth. This is a big one as other providers will limit which teeth are covered actually. Sports Bro said, I'll look into Petplan. Do you have a discount code of your own? Because you should. I didn't last year, but I will receive a small amount of commission if any of you sign up using my link in the description. So if any of you go with them, using my link is a super easy way to say thanks if I helped you at all with this video or my last one. No pressure though on any of this. Take your time. Insurance is a big decision. I totally get it. The way I see it though, you have 3 good pet insurance or pet assurance options. Option 1, you can get started with just $19 a month at the time of recording this through Pawp so that you're covered for emergencies up to $3,000 once a year. Again, you get 20% off your first month with Pawp using code RESOLUTION20 at sign up. Option 2, you can go the more traditional pet insurance route. If you do so, definitely do more research and determine what you need as a priority before you start, because it can definitely get overwhelming. I use and recommend Petplan, but Lemonade seems to be relatively popular as well. Option 3, you get total coverage and have complete peace of mind with both pet insurance and pet assurance, if you can swing it, of course, financially as we did. Notice none of these options are to skip coverage altogether. I think pet insurance and or pet assurance should be no-brainers for almost all pet owners. And I do hope more people get coverage, because if that happens, odds are fewer owners will be put in the devastating position of deciding between expensive care or end of life. That means more healthy and happy pets living longer, which in turn means families will live happier lives, perhaps longer lives in fact, according to research I found preparing for this video. That's super cool. And thanks to all of you who commented on that last video. I made that one in May of 2020, right after we adopted our puppy Leo. I did hours of research and included it all in that video, so it's a great one to check out next if you haven't seen it. Odds are, if you're researching and seeking out this kind of information, you're likely already sold on getting some kind of coverage for your furry or not so furry friend. And that's great. I'd love to know if this helped you make a decision, and if so, which company did you go with, if you're willing to share. I'd be grateful if you use my links again if you decide to go with Pawp and or Petplan. Drop me any and all questions below that you still might have. I do try to reply to everyone. And if you're doing more research, I recommend a simple Google search, something like Best Pet Insurance 2021, but be careful with any that could be paid sites. They aren't always as transparent as I hopefully was today. Also, go to pet insurance FAQ pages for the most distilled information. I talk all things personal finance and financial independence twice a week, so consider subscribing if you like my approach to talking money and you're excited to learn how to save even more. Thank you, Pawp, once again for sponsoring this one and meeting with me twice. And thank you, Petplan, for your support as well. My name is Frankie. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you in a few days on the next one. Thanks.